now the moment you've all been waiting for. The royal hostess with the mostest. The queen bee with the money, honey.
BeePlus.
That's right. And it's time you all bow to the real queen bee.
Here she comes, the most beautiful bee in the universe.
You're stealing all the bees just because you're jealous?
No, that's just a bonus. My actual plan is to capture all the queens. Their hives will then have no choice but to follow me.
Well, hello, my wonderful hive and friends and everybody who may be watching. This is a pre-recorded video, so don't worry, you did not miss a live. Your notifications are probably working just fine, and yeah, so I decided to do this instead because I wanted to address a couple things first, and then we can do a live about it at some point. I just needed to make sure that I had some mods, and my mods are busy. So yeah. Yeah. So, and I mean, when I'm doing that, like if I'm live, it's kind of not that I'm not capable of modding myself, but I have such bad ADD that if I'm talking, like I'm not going to be looking at the chat, and I'm not in the mood for shenanigans. So while I have your attention, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you have not subscribed to me, I don't know why you haven't already, but please consider hitting that subscribe button. Yeah, so what to talk about today? Let's see. I mean, honestly, guys, I feel like all of us, and I feel like all of us at this, yeah, all of us really at this point are just saying the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, don't people get bored of the same drama over and over and over again? I mean, the faces may change, the channels may change, but it's just this tired, worn out, quite frankly, stupid, like storyline, so to speak, you know? It's like, I get it. It's the formula works. I get it. Okay. I get it. You know, I'm a small channel. I'm not on here to necessarily build a channel. If I do build a channel, great, but I have to put the work in to do that. Correct? Like, and I'm not on here all the time. You know, I have a life outside of here, and it's quite busy. So, I don't put a lot of time into this. And maybe if I was one of those channels that was looking to, you know, make a I don't know, I hate using the word career out of this because it but yikes. But he was looking to take it in a different direction, you know. I feel like maybe I'd feel differently, but from where I'm sitting, you know, it's old. It's old. How many times are we going to talk about the same things? And here's the thing, you know, we go back and forth at each other and we're like, well, you know, how could they say they stand for this when they sit with so-and-so who does great. Everybody here has done something that somebody finds like reprehensible. Like, trust me when I say that. You know, some more than others, and some they perceive it because people have told lies. I mean, you know, any way you look at it, you know, regardless of who you support or what side you're on or whatever, it really, like, that argument doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. I'm sorry. You know, it just doesn't. Like, I think it's pretty clear that, like, depending on what side you're on, maybe you see things a little bit differently. But I mean, I'm just at a point where, you know, I know that people that I hang out with now have done things that aren't great. Like, I'm not blind. I'm not stupid. I'm not completely ignorant to that. Like, I do have, you know, I'm like in touch with reality here. And you want to know the truth, guys? You want to know the reality? Call me a bad person all you want. I don't care. I just don't care. Because you want to know what? If I was on the other side, the side I'm on now would say the same damn thing. So it doesn't matter what side I'm on. They're still going to say the same thing. So I don't care. Okay? And it's hard to, like, I'm just not, I mean, it's true. And I mean, as much as it begrudges some people to admit, I mean, many people from my time here on YouTube can vouch for me on this. I really just don't care about a lot. Like, I just don't understand why some things get taken to a level of outrage that they do. But it's just how things work in this community. So I will point out the hypocrisy, even if I don't actually think it was a big deal. You know, not saying that I agree with it, not saying that I would do it. There's a lot of things that people do that I would not do. personally. But I'm of the mindset of you have to know the argument against you to best formulate your own argument. So I'm able to look at things from all angles. So just because I don't agree with something and I say that's wrong, I can also put myself on the other side and look at it from, well, why would they do? I can look at it from all sides. And I'm not over here like judging people for that kind of thing. No. No. At this point, I judge people on how they treat me personally. So yeah, because like I said, I heard today because I actually, contrary to popular belief and what she would like to think, it seems at this point, I don't watch Granny. I'm not subscribed to Granny's watching. So I only see her when she comes up in my suggested, which is once in a blue moon. And she happened to come up in my suggested today. So I clicked on it and, she's saying she's never done anything wrong. Like, are you serious right now? Like, surely you jest. Like, what? And I get it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was listening and Jess had a few good points on a few things. I will say that because I'll give credit where credit's due. I will. But most of it I was just kind of laughing because like the lack of self-awareness and the projection is just it's mind-blowing. It really is. They should do a psychological study on YouTube, I swear. Like it's something else. But yeah, and I don't even remember. She made what good points did she make? Oh, it'll come back to me. There were a couple things that I agreed with, and I was like, yeah, that's fair. Because here's the thing. I'm not part of any cool kids club, right? I'm not. You don't see me up on panels. You don't see me. I go to chats once in a while, but like, I'm not jumping around chat to chat all day. Like, I just don't do that. And there's reasons for that, and just because I'm on a side where there are people that, dislike the same person as me, does not mean that I'm their friend, that I like them, or that I want anything to do with them. Quite honestly, like, I have, most people I'm generally indifferent to. Most people I'm kind of approach with a clean slate, and, my opinion will, be based off of my experiences and what I see and a lot of factors. But there are some people who I just straight up don't like, and I don't necessarily have a reason. They just annoy me. And there's a few of those. But I'm not going to be mean. They don't that it's not their fault that they annoy me. So, I'm not going to call them out for it. That's silly. But you're just not going to see me faking friendships that don't mean anything to me. Because contrary to how most people here operate and how I, contrary to how I should have approached this, friendships don't really mean much to anybody on here. Like it's not real. So that was my mistake for believing it was. That was my mistake. I won't be doing that again. And yeah, so quite honestly, it's like it's frustrating. It's frustrating because I don't know. Like I said, the story has changed 1,000 times with Granny and what happened with me and whatever. Because like a lot of it just doesn't make sense to me because I didn't do anything to you, Granny. Like I still want to know what I did that was so horrible. What did I do? What did I do? I want you to show me what I did, and you can't because I didn't do anything. And if your answer is you now sit with Lycan, I didn't even talk to Lycan, like at all, ever, until after what happened. Like, riddle me that. I didn't reach out to any of your quote unquote enemies. I wasn't I just wasn't on YouTube because I was decompressing from a really emotional, stressful situation. After I went to Texas. So really, there was none. I went into Robbie's chat once, but you say you don't care about where people go, right? So why would that be a problem? I actually didn't know that you guys were having an issue at that time. I really genuinely did not know because at that time, Jessica, I wouldn't have gone in if I had known. Out of respect for you. I don't have respect anymore though, because you came at me for no reason. None whatsoever. You said that you wish you could dox me. For what? What have I done that would be at all deserving of doxing? Now, I understand saying that about somebody who's come at you relentlessly and has done really bad things to you, I get why somebody would say they wish that. I get that. But I don't understand why that would be used in relation to me. Because I've done nothing to you. What did I do? Tell the truth about like something that no, like, what did I do? I told the truth about something. Great. It doesn't seem to bother you that, like, this was like way before that. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. And if you never liked me and I was annoying and you hated me, then you should have been happy when you saw me go into Robbie's or, something else. Well, there wasn't anything else. So you should have been happy. You should have been like, great, finally, she's gone. But no, that wasn't the case either. And I'm still waiting. I mean, I don't know what happened. I mean, I have my theories as to what happened. I have my theories as to how that all went down and who was involved in putting that in your head. But there was not. I mean, I'd ask for receipts if I were you. Not that it matters, but I didn't do anything to you. And so, when you were going on in your live today about, everybody's going to turn on each other, if they do it to one person, don't think they won't do it to you. Well, absolutely, yeah. If if Granny could turn on me for absolutely no reason, don't think she won't do it to you when she gets tired of you or annoyed, because she herself admits that we're women, we're catty. Some of the men here, let's be honest. I don't know. I don't think there's I think the men in this community can be catty. Absolutely. Yeah, well, we need to include them. But that's just a fact. So I just don't understand how people don't, and it won't matter to some people until it happens to them. And here's my point though, is that, when it comes to subscribers, most people already have who they like and who they don't, and they generally have an opinion on people. So I actually did some quote unquote pseudo market research on this a while back, way back, maybe probably over a year ago at this point. Right before I kind of went dark on my channel, and I never posted the results from it, but I mean, it was actually very interesting. And because I was kind of trying to figure out what, if awareness was really a thing on this level, in this kind of genre, if awareness was really something that's effective. And it turns out, guys, that it's really not. I can tell you that the majority of the feedback that I've gotten through analyzing my analytics, through other sorts of stuff that I've done kind of on my own because I'm interested in that stuff. When it comes to let's use Natasha for an example for the awareness. Most people already have an opinion on Natasha. You're not going to nobody was swaying anybody's opinion one way or the other, right? I mean, that's a very small percentage. Really, what it was bringing awareness to was to other communities that are like, who is this horrible woman? So literally, that was the responses that I got. But people in this community generally already had an opinion one way or the other. I don't think any sort of awareness campaign has ever really interested anybody but the people who already don't like that person. I don't think it's very effective at swaying the people who do support the person that you're going at. It's just not, right? So I just, yeah, that was kind of my conclusion with that. And I think that's pretty clear. I mean, I'm not saying that I think bringing awareness is great. I mean, there are some people that are new that maybe don't know. I mean, those people are there, they're accounted for. It's just a small percentage though. And not enough to quote unquote make a difference if in my opinion anyway. But really what it does is the algorithm is such as usually these videos reach complete strangers. I can't tell you how many comments I get on mine that are wow, that nobody in this community. But sometimes they reach the right people. Sometimes. But yeah, so I was listening to that. I was just listening. I was like, oh my, this is a lot of projection. This is a lot of, and some of the names that I see in there, I can't. Some of you reached out to me privately when I started hanging out in Granny's chat again, and you were so disappointed in me. So disappointed. That was just so terrible of me to do, to give Granny another chance. And then there you are. There you are. Oh boy, the people here, man, they are something else. Something else. Let's see, what else can we catch up on? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't. Granny said I was crying because she mentioned my hat. Nobody was crying. Like that doesn't hurt my feelings. That doesn't upset me. Why would that upset me? I'm just laughing. Like maybe I'm crying because I'm laughing so hard because like what significance does that have whatsoever? You literally said, Granny, that me wearing a beanie should tell people everything they need to know about me. What are those things? Can somebody tell me? I'm curious. Like, just asking for a friend. Oh boy. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm over it. I'm over it. Before when I first like was kind of like stunned, like because I didn't know there was a problem between me and Jessica. I had no idea. That was news to me. And then you have all these people that kind of go with that and turn with that and suddenly hated me for no reason whatsoever. Nobody can give me a reason. Because I'm really like it makes no sense, but that's okay. That's okay. I notice who brings me up, and that's fine. I see you. I see you, and we'll talk about a few people. Yeah, because and Granny did say, well, why don't you call out people on your side? Well, while I don't agree, Granny, with the list that you gave, because you had a quite an extensive list there of creators that I should be calling out for scamming, when I just don't see them as scammers. I just don't see it that way. But then again, Granny, I don't necessarily think I would call you a scammer either. But you have behaviors that are dishonest and deceptive. We'll go with that. But I'm not going to call you a scammer because I don't feel like you're promising a false. Not really, anyways. I don't believe that. I mean, some people might. I don't. I'm not going to. I'm not going there with that. I just don't. I think that there are people much more deserving of the word scammer on here. Granny's a lot of things, but I'm not going to say scammer. Dishonest, yeah, very much disingenuous, fake, yeah, okay. I mean, we can go on and on, but yeah, I mean, Natasha is a scammer, guys. Natasha is a scammer. People who come on here and say that they need money for something and throw a sob story at you, and then don't use those funds for that, and that's scamming. Now, here's the thing, though. I don't see the problem. I mean, it's hilarious though because like all of a sudden, what was the thing? It was like, oh, Lycan has a daily fund, but on his lives, but somebody has a PayPal fund, and everybody loses their mind. Well, yeah, when I had a PayPal fund, you all lost your mind. So yeah. I mean that's kind of real, but like you do it. So I showed receipts. Lycan showed receipts. You don't watch him though, so you might not know that. But he did. I can vouch for that. I showed receipts, and I'm not going to call Kim and Crafton out for anything. They didn't even start that fundraiser. Like that had nothing to do with. They did not create that, is my understanding. So I don't, and I think it was taken down. So like I don't feel scammed by them either. So I'm certainly not going to be calling them out. I don't feel scammed. Now that's not saying that there aren't people in this community that I'm probably going to get crap for saying, but there certainly are people that quote unquote sit on my side that I feel have taken it to a level that's scammer level. I will say that. And I was gonna I didn't even know if I wanted to weigh in on the Mama Knows Best thing because like it's tired at this point. And like who knows? We're never gonna know the truth. People a lot of people here are just dishonest, and regardless of nobody, and people aren't. I feel like there's more to that story. I really do. But until I have evidence just to like support that, if I ever receive, like, I'm not going to go looking for it. But I do think there's more to that story. I can't prove it, so I'm not going to say it because like I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. that doesn't absolve her by any means, but I feel like there's more involved than just her. But I've had my own experience with her, so yeah. And I didn't want to bring this up because, like, I don't want to have an issue with people on here. I'm not looking for fights, necessarily, or else I'm in a mood. But my issue, I don't want to have an issue with Mama Knows Best. But I will say that having my own experience with her, um, and then this happening, I mean, it's just logical. Like it fits for me. Um, with the whole Christmas debacle. Like I sent her over $100 worth of gifts in Christmas 2021? Yeah. Um and then she said she never received them, even though I had confirmation that they were delivered and I had pictures of some of them. That I wasn't going to share because, like, that's somebody's house. Like, I'm not going to share that with people. That's nobody's business. So yeah, so I had that, and I don't even recall her ever saying thank you, to be honest with you. So that doesn't feel good, but I don't hate her. Like, I wasn't gonna have an issue with her. I'm not gonna, like, call her out. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna leave that alone or whatever. But then when I heard about this, I was like, yeah, that doesn't that kind of that feels a little familiar to me. So that's where I stand on that. As for the other players involved, I mean, I think it's pretty clear um, that some people are just trying to build a channel. Sorry, not sorry. That's how it looks. I mean, if you're going to jump up on panel, like going up on Lycans just to say that you're going live in 15 minutes, come on, man, that's cringe. Like, let's be real here. First of all, that's rude to the creator that you're there. Like, Lycan's not stupid. So, like, I could, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, the audacity. Like, oh boy. That's like a lot of people. That's just rude to the creator. I mean, you don't want to go in there. You're looking for their audience to go over to your channel when they're invested in a different creator. And I just think that's rude. So I think it's pretty obvious to me how this situation has kind of gone. And there is one situation that I'm sure that I may possibly regret calling out, but I have to because it's how I feel. And if other people are allowed to call out how they feel, I'm going to call out how I feel. And I've heard mention of To the Moon, and I was obviously around during the Christmas time, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, that feels scammy to me. It does. Now, I've heard that she's back in the community under a different name. I don't know if that's true or not true. But I'm just gonna say, like, you're gonna raise like a significant amount of money because you're bringing somebody to court or you're getting restricted, and then none of that happens. I don't know, that feels scammy to me. Though I didn't donate though, so it's not my business. I'm not gonna be like, it's up to the people who donated to decide whether they feel scammed or not. But yeah, that didn't feel good to me. Like, she just disappeared. Like, she had this fundraiser, people threw money at her, and then she disappeared. Like, let's call it how it is. Like, and I mean, I don't know if anything ever went through with that. I don't know if, I mean, as far as I know, I haven't seen anything from Truth Teller either about that. So I'm just assuming that nothing happened. Nothing. So, yeah. So there you go. There it is. That's how I feel about it. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah. But there's no way around that. So if I get crap for that, great. It's not going to change my mind. That's how I feel. And I know I'm probably not alone in that. So, yeah. But and I think that, in my opinion, that there is a point, that's a point that nobody has called that out. And I see that. And I'm not over here trying to be neutral. Like, neutral is not possible here, right? I'm not over here trying to, like, ride the fence or play both. I am very clearly, against who I am against. Like, please do not get it twisted. Me acknowledging that, quote unquote, the other side may have some points is not at all me. Because, like, that's just the reality. That's the truth. I could play along with a different narrative that, to fit what would build my channel, but I just don't care. So I'm just telling it how it actually is. But that's a good point. I have not seen anyone call that out. And perhaps I just don't have all the information. I mean, I will say that. Like I said, I don't have all the information about anything. So this is just my opinion through my own observations and how I feel about it. But that felt very scammy to me. And I was disheartened, and I was a little, because this is my community. I've been here for many years at this point, and the subs here are good people, very generous people with big hearts who, unfortunately, people take advantage of. And it makes me mad. It makes me mad. Because nobody should be penalized because they have a big heart and care. Like, it's sick. Unfortunately, that's the way the world works. But, I'm tired of seeing it around here. I'm tired of watching people get hurt over and over and over again. And people see this community as a mark, unfortunately. I mean, we've seen that, right? So, yeah. No, I think it's one thing if you're providing genuine content and people give you donations. That's different, right? That's different. But you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know it's the raising money under these pretenses that pull at your heartstrings, that are relatable, or that they're so well acted that you just believe it's real and your heart breaks for that person. So you open your wallet, and it makes me uncomfortable, honestly. Like, I remember there was one night on here that I cried because I was just so upset and fed up. And I got more donations that night than I have ever gotten total of my time on YouTube. And the fact that I know that makes me so uncomfortable. And yeah, it's just the reality. I mean, I don't know. There's no other way around it. That's just how it was. But I'm not going to come on here and cry purposely to get donations. That, in fact, even if I was to cry because I genuinely was sad, which is the only way you're going to get me to cry, is I'd feel bad. And I did feel bad. I was like, I don't know. I don't think I'm cut out for this with that mindset. I'm business savvy and stuff, but I have to feel like I'm contributing something. And a lot of the time I just feel like I'm getting paid to talk, which I guess is a thing, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Over the summer, I mean, I might choose to want to work on this and build my channel and, make money on it again. But at this point in time, I could take it or leave it. A lot of it's not worth the stress and the constant attacks and the mental toll it takes. Like, I'm a strong person. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to let this ruin my life or let this push me to a dark place. But it certainly doesn't feel good. And I think I'd only do it more often for the right price. I don't know why anybody would want that, put themselves in the line of fire like this, for literally no reason, for, their own gain. And what's important to people is different. So, I mean, it might not be money you're looking for. It might be recognition. Who knows? It really depends on the person. And I could take any of those things, but if I'm not getting anything in return, then I'm not going to put myself in the line of fire. I've been there, done that. Yeah. People on the internet are vicious. People over here are vicious, and they have very strong opinions, and they act like they know you, and they act like they know everything about your life, and they are so certain that you are X, Y, or Z. And it just, some of it I have to laugh because, I know myself. I know that I don't do those things. I know that I'm not that. I know that that's not true. So I just have to laugh. Like when Jessica said, I have no sense of real world anything. Surely you're joking, right? The last time I checked, I live on my own. I have a $1,400 a month mortgage. Where do you live? What do you have to pay for? Where's your real world? You're 4 days younger than me. Where's your real world? Where is that? I'm still gonna wait on that, I guess. That's just ridiculous. I've been very open with you about my life, so you should know better, but that's fine. I know the narrative of me being like some trust fund baby that's like, a privileged. I did grow up privileged. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna, sugarcoat that. Absolutely. Comparatively to the majority, yeah, I did grow up very, very privileged. Yep. But I wasn't raised to behave as if I was, and I wasn't raised to think I'm anything better than anybody else. And I literally didn't I didn't live at home from age 14 onwards. Like I've lived on my own basically. Um, I was sent to these horrible troubled teen programs. LARPing is like, therapeutic boarding schools where they just I've had my share of trauma. Don't you worry about that. And I have told my story. I've done many videos about it, actually. If you scroll down to way, way, way down, I've told my story a few times in very long videos. And if anyone's interested, they can go check it out, get to know me a little bit, get to know my past. I've been open about it. Not like I'm kind of an oversharer, until it comes to certain things. And I did want to point another thing out too, while we're on the topic of addressing things. And let's get some stuff out of the way. So the other thing I want to get out of the way is I'm aware of who has hurt me. Okay. I know that there are people that are angry and that they don't think that I should forgive or whatever. So I started to go into this on my last one, but I didn't go into it very far. And this is about Dorothy surviving the storm. So listen, I understand that some people might not like her. I get that. And I'm not asking anybody to suddenly support her or whatever, but I'm choosing to kind of forgive and move on. That is my choice. Okay? And my reason for that is just that, it's been a year. Like there's no point in holding on to anger, especially when you can talk about it and come to some sort of resolution and realize that we both did things and said things we regret, and then just being civil. That's not saying that like you're going to see us as each other. That's not what that means. What that means is just that we're civil. I'm not going to talk about her. She's not going to talk about me. And, I might go in her chat once in a while. And I don't know why that's such a horrible thing. I don't hold grudges. I'm not one of those people. I really struggle to. And I was angry for a while. I was. And she did say something that kind of set me off a little bit recently. And it's the only comment I'm going to make about it. And, she did a really great live about the whole BBT situation with Natasha. She did a great live. It was great. You should check it out. It was very engaging. It was very eye-opening. It was well done. It kept my attention anyway, which is hard to do. So, but there was one thing where Dorothy said that, and she's right about this, by the way, that she went on, about how Natasha brought BBT's health issues into it when BBT hadn't even addressed that with her community. And that's she took that, and BBT actually said it this way, is that Natasha took away her story to tell when she was ready. And Dorothy, that's how I kind of feel about what happened between you and I. Was that something personal to me that I would share when I was ready? And it was kind of told to the world before I was ready for that. And I went into damage control after that because I was horrified that people knew that now. Like I was horrified. That was not what I wanted to present on here. Let me tell you that when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, like I felt sick, honestly, because I was like, this is not what I wanted. But I just want to let you know, Dorothy, that's kind of how I feel about that. But like I said, and I've said to you, I wrote you an apology about my part in things, and I mean it. And when it comes down to it, it's like it's water under the bridge for me at this point. There's no point in holding on to grudges like that. I can't do it. And a lot of, I think that's common on here. So I don't know why people are like, so like pearl clutching over it that I was in her chat. Yeah, I was in her chat. She had a really good live. She did. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's hilarious that people get so up in arms about stuff like that. I did say I would never associate with Lycan, but here's the thing though, I never really watched him. I didn't know him. The video that I really was judging him on, there was one particular video that I just saw the thumbnail for it, and that's where I made my mind up about him. Had I clicked on the video, I would have seen that it was not like at all what it was like implying. Like the thumbnail was very clickbait, to get a reaction, mainly negative, and he knows that. But the video was not at all like insulting to Jews like I thought it was, which is why I so vehemently was like anti-Lycan. Like that was one of my big reasons. Not to mention I didn't know he was Jewish, but that's besides the point. That doesn't, I don't think that being Jewish means you can't have prejudices against your own. I don't know. I feel like sky's the limit. I mean, people have weird brains. So who knows? But I didn't know that. Not that it would excuse it if it, I don't know, if it was what I thought it was. I think it, regardless of whether he was Jewish or Catholic or Christian or whatever, it still would have bothered me. But it wasn't anything like that. So I misunderstood, and I treat others as how they treat me. And Jamie never really treated me that badly. Like he came at me in a few chats and was rather rude. At a time that I was really just not in the mood for that, and I did not appreciate it. But like, whatever. He was doing that because Jessica had said something, whatever she said. I mean, I honestly still haven't read those messages because like I've read like the first line and I'm like, I don't even want to know. What I don't know doesn't hurt me, right? And then we're going to go into that in a minute. And then, yeah, well, we'll go into it now. The whole issue with the meme that Lindsay made of Sally Ann. Now, I just want to point out that at that time when that incident with Sally Ann happened, I was on the opposing side from Lycan. So I would like to cut myself out of the narrative that's going on of Sally Ann's now associating with her, a quote-unquote abuser. Okay. Secondly, it is debatable what Lycan said there. Honestly, I know people slowed down the audio, and trust me, I didn't like I tried to hear it in the bad way. I did. Like I was telling my brain that's what it said, but like even I couldn't like definitively say that. So, and ultimately, it is up to Sally Ann how she handles things and how she feels about it. That's up to her. Jess did have a good point, and I will agree with her on this because I have to, because I feel the same way. I will say that day was very triggering to a lot of people. That was a rough day. I felt emotionally drained after that day. That was hard to watch. That was one of the worst days that I've seen here on YouTube. At the end of that day, I literally felt emotionally drained. It was really upsetting. So, I mean, she did, that's true. I do feel that way, and I think many in the community felt that way. And we're all glad that Sally Ann is okay. And we're all glad that, I think she's mentioned she's sought help. And I hope she continues that. And yeah, obviously, I would never wish ill will on anybody here. Like, even if I don't like them, I'm not gonna, no. I'm not saying I don't like Sally Ann, so I know my ADD is getting crazy, so like my words are gonna be like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, even if I didn't like somebody, I would always just wish them well. Like that what I saw that day, there shouldn't have been any opposition to that. I know that it was said that some people said that she was doing it for attention. No, I don't know who specifically said that. But I don't agree with saying that about what I saw anyways. I think that day was scary. And there's a lot of people I think do things for attention, and there's a lot of things that I will say is done for attention, even if it's like, not popular opinion. I didn't feel that was one of them personally. But that's just my opinion, and everybody is welcome to have their own. But here's the thing. So, do I agree with the meme? It was in bad taste, yes. But I've made some memes in bad taste too, right? I have. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I loved that meme and I think it's great that Lindsay made it. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is that I think a lot of us need to look deep down inside and think to ourselves, have we ever made a meme or shared a meme that was, not very kind to somebody else? Or, I know I have. I've made memes in my lifetime that were not kind to somebody else. um, so there's that. And I mean, did it take it to a level that I personally would not have been comfortable doing? Yeah, I guess, yeah, I think that's fair. Um, but I mean, how I feel though is that what people don't know doesn't hurt them. And here's how I look at this, right? If I had a meme like that made about me behind the scenes, which for all I know there is a meme, um, I don't want to know. All right? Like I don't want to know. Um, I don't want to know what people say about me. I don't want to know that this person talked crap about me. I don't want to know that. I just want to learn from my own experiences, which I learned plenty from my own experiences. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's really like I know, Jessica, you've put out lots of our private messages, like tons of our private messages. And I haven't put out any of yours, have I? And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is because the only people that it would hurt are the people that are mentioned in those texts, the particularly bad ones. And I'm not going to do that. I thought about it. I've gotten mad enough at times that I'm like, fuck it. Like I should. It'll prove my point. But really, who is it going to be proving it to? People already have their opinion about you. They either like you or they don't. Like I said, with this like pseudo market research I did, me putting out those text messages is not going to do anything to sway anybody's mind or support, really. Maybe a handful of people, but nothing that is significant enough for me to be willing to hurt the person that it's about, because I'm not going to do that. Because some of them are very cruel, and some of them, I bet they would be surprised to see their name. And I just don't want to do that. And that's always been how I feel about those things. That's always how I feel. And to hear that, that meme should have been deleted immediately and all of that, great. Well, couldn't we say the same about the diary pages? By that trope, like, shouldn't the right thing to have been done would be for Jess to have just deleted those, right? Okay. Like, you have to look at the situation. So, I'm telling you, like, I don't agree with either. I mean, I'm not outraged about a lot of different stuff, and it that's not debatable. Like, I'm just not. But I also, like, personally would not have done it, and I personally would have done things differently. But it is what it is, and I just don't see the degree of outrage that things got brought to on certain topics. I can't match that energy with that. I just can't. Because that's how this stuff goes in this community, and it's just I just expect it at this point. How many times are we going to talk about children? And Jessica, I will give you this too. Here's the other point. I don't think talking about parenting is talking about children. I agree with that. I do. I've said that before. I know that's a touchy subject for some people. I get it. And I'm not saying that like that's something that I love, but I do see it that way. Like there's a lot of people that are like, oh, they're coming for my, but Jessica, you've done that too, though. You've said people are talking about your children when really they're just talking about your parenting, or, mentioning that somebody has children is not talking about their children. Okay. Like, it's so backwards the way people use that and other things. And I'm just like, really? Oh, we're doing this again? Yawn. Like, it's boring. I'm bored. I'm really bored, guys. I'm bored. How many times are we going to talk about the same thing? This season, like, what season are we in now? But we need new writers because this shit's boring as hell. It's old, it's tired, it's boring. I can't imagine I'm the only person who thinks that, but maybe I am. Because clearly people are engaged, and that's fine, I'm not saying it's wrong. I mean, the formula works. So, it's like why they keep, what's a good example of a movie they just keep on making because, like, it makes money? and it's the same formula. Oh, please tell me, what is it? Or a good TV show that's an example. I can't think of anything right now. But you guys know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I'm just kind of bored of a lot of stuff. And I mean, I see things the way I do, and I'm gonna come on here and say it. And if that gets me crap, then fine. But I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that stuff isn't happening around me because like we have that person and I don't like the same person. That's not how this works. I'm not gonna do that. My friendship isn't fake. It's genuine. When I connect with somebody, and spend hours on the phone with them and text them, like, like I that's not fake. I don't do shit like that. I don't have time to do stuff like that. I'm not, trying to get information from people to use against them later, which is what you were doing, Jessica, to me. Let's be real. But I was stupid enough, and I mean, I was at a place where like I needed a friend or like, someone to talk to, and you just happened to like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is that I'm so wary of people at this point. Like, am I perfect? No. Have I made mistakes? Have I done stuff I wish I hadn't? Have I handled situations in ways that I probably could have handled better? Or have I made the wrong choice and like done something that went against my morals and my gut? Yes, I absolutely have. I absolutely have. But I'm not, trying to get in on people's lives like for a malicious reason. And Jessica, have I repeated any of the things that you told me that like were personal? I don't think I have, and I'm not going to. Like that's what there is about it. Like if I'm like, I'm just not going to do that. I'm not that kind of person. You can do it to me all you want. That's fine. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to stoop to that level. I don't need that. Like, I don't need it. And that's just how I feel. But that's not to say that, well, yeah, well, I'm what I'm trying to say though is that I'm perfectly fine at this point. Now that I've seen how stuff plays out, like I'll say things on here and I'll tell my truth, and I'll come on here and say how I feel about various situations, and if something involved me directly, I'll tell you what happened. But you're gonna either have to believe me or you don't. Either way, there are some things that I am not gonna back up because of what I just told you. I'd rather you think I'm lying than hurt somebody like that, to be honest. Like that's the scale that this is on. And yeah, I'm not going to do that. So how I do feel is that I don't think that meme should have been shared. Sally Ann didn't know about it. And if Sally Ann doesn't know about it, then it doesn't hurt Sally Ann, in my opinion. Right? Like, I'm not saying either party is in the right here, but I do think that when you're putting it out, and all due respect, Angela, all due respect, like, I find it very hard to believe that your intentions were, pure and because you cared about Sally Ann and thought she should know. Because if they were, you would have gone to her privately and said that to her. So that rubbed me the wrong way when I saw that written. I was like, no, 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 no. Let's be real about what that was about. And yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you really thought Sally Ann should know, yeah, I would have sent it to her privately. But you made a video instead. So, which was because you don't like Lindsay, which is very clearly why that was made or done. But and Sally Ann was collateral damage, which I don't like. I don't like it. I don't like it. I just don't think people should be, used as collateral damage. And I think that it's very easy. To be fair, though, I do think it's very easy to overlook that when you're, angry. I think it's easy to not see it from that angle, especially when have emotions attached to it. I get that. So, because as I've certainly, been in situations where I did not think about the consequences of what, and I didn't see it from that angle. So I'm just encouraging people, like, don't be impulsive. Like, think about that though. Think about how it could impact somebody else. If you don't like somebody, that's great, but don't throw somebody else under the bus just to hurt them. That happened with me. The person wanted to hurt me, but inadvertently hurt other people. You want to come for me, come for me. Okay? But leave everybody else out of it. There's plenty you can talk about me without bringing other people into it. Okay? Good. Now that we're all on the same page about that. These are just the quick things that I'm probably missing a bunch of stuff. I'm so pissed because like I'm gonna end up going for my night walk anyways, but I've had this blister that will not go away. Like, it will not go away. If anybody has any tips, like I probably have tried everything already, but like it's right on the bottom of like the sole of my foot, on the heel. So like it will not go away. And I've tried everything. I've tried those patches that you can put on it. I've tried moleskin. It's I'm not gonna gross people out about it, but like it will not go away. And I'm so frustrated because it's been a week and it is like impacting my quality of life as far as I'm concerned at this point. But yeah, I am gonna probably go for my night walk. I like my night walk. It's nice to, listen to stuff and decompress, and um it's relaxing. And there's nobody outside. Like, I have the whole bike path to myself, which is nice. Although yesterday, I'm not gonna lie to you, the past couple times have been kind of creepy. Like yesterday, straight up, like I don't really want to give the location of where I am. So where this bike path is there's a cemetery right off of it that has a famous grave of a supernatural kind of horror kind of thing. And yesterday, and I'm assuming that this was what this is about. And there's like this old trolley station from like the probably before the 1800s. I don't know. It's made completely of like stones. It's very old. From back, like that's still there. And there were these people sitting outside of it yesterday, two girls, and they were sitting like cross-legged, and they had a candle going, and they were like chanting. I was like, what is going on? Like, I was like, oh my god, there's like some seance going on. I was like, I quickly walked by. I'm like, okay. And then the night before that, there was somebody who looked like they were in like a cloak, and they were like taking one step and then waiting. It was creepy how slow they were moving. And then they saw me. They turned their head like all mechanical and literally just watched me. I was so creeped out, I actually called somebody because I was like, oh my god, yikes, yikes, yikes. What is this? And then the next day we have that seance. So I don't know. I know that there are some homeless people that stay in that like the shelter, the trolley station overnight. Which, great. If they're not bothering anybody, I'm glad that they have that the cops don't like bother them about that, honestly. Because it's cold here. And I feel bad. And the cops, because like nobody wants, you guys know, I don't want to go into my trope about homelessness, but I'm glad because there are cops, and it's safe because like there are cops stationed outside the cemetery all night long. So, they know that these people are there and they allow it, which I think is fine, because they're not leaving trash or anything, and they're not there during the day. So who are they bothering? Yeah. So I mean, and I walk by them, but they never like bother. They're never doing anything weird. Like, not like a seance. I was like, oh geez, okay. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna get off of here and go do that and check out what's going on the tubes, if there's anything worth checking out. I'm not gonna lie, like I said, I'm kind of bored of this song and dance. Like, season whatever we're on needs new writers. Let's determine what season we're on. What season are we on of this chromosphere, guys? Let me know so I can like use it in a title. Because I'd really like to do that. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Oh yeah, and I've been busy. I was gonna go, and I'm like, I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm like, I'm like, LARPing my childhood dream of like my Harry Potter fandom. So like, I'm having a good time. But yeah. So, I am going to get off of here. Yes. Yes. Am I? Is there anything else I wanted to share? Is there anything else I needed to say today? I don't think so. Well, I hope everybody hits that thumbs up button because that helps me out immensely, and it's free and it's easy and it's really no skin off your back to do it. And I know you want to. I know you want to because I know that most of my views are not hate views. Let's be real. So if you support me and you like me, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed to me, consider hitting the subscribe button. I don't know why you haven't already. I'm offended at this point, like straight up offended. And yeah, I will see you guys very soon. I do have a live setup for tomorrow that I hopefully can follow through with. I think that I need to coordinate with my mods like when they were available, because today was like that it was not it. So hopefully, because I was gonna do it yesterday, but I forgot that I had previous things I had to do at 5. So I was like, oh, okay, well that's not gonna work. So let me push it to tomorrow. And then today I'm like, is anybody available? And everyone's like, no. So I'm like, okay, well I'll just record it then. And at least you guys have something to listen to, right? With my wonderful voice. I actually, didn't used to like my voice, but now that I've listened to it on like playback and whatever, I do. I think I think I have a good voice for radio. I do. Actually, people always told me that, and I did not believe it until I heard myself. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I do. I do. If I just like refined it a little bit and worked on like the trope and cadence, and I got this. I got this. I think I have a pleasant voice to listen to. It's not like some of the other people around here. You know who you are. Oh boy. Okay. Well, let's not get started on that tonight. And my dogs are going to start barking. So perfect timing. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, and I will see you very soon.